agenda for this one?
Is there not a
Yes.
planning commission meeting in December?
I don't know yet. We haven't
There
scheduled.
there was
one.
a finance agenda on the table.
Yeah, that's you, but I don't know if we took care of me.
Oh,
Just grab this one.
I didn't know if you had one in front of you too. That's why.
Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Need public comment. Yeah. Hearing none,
Cassie, was this one mine? Brian gave me one.
yeah, I'll entertain a motion I
Oh,
got
I did
one,
get one. Oh, you picked it up on the way.
to approve
got
the
it.
minutes of September 13th, 2021.
I make a motion.
Second,
Motion in a second, discussion. All in favor?
I
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Items of business, what do we got going on?
Well, I didn't know, I mean, we had a big agenda, so I kind of thought I would just leave items of business to what's on our agenda for the city council, so we can talk through some of those items.
Right.
That's kind of where I was at with it, so. Anybody want to start with any questions that are finance related to the agenda or otherwise? Because that's kind of what I was thinking.
Well, finance related would be if in fact we rescind the opening of the application period for the pot shop tonight.
Okay.
And we approve the referendum language that it be placed on the ballot. What do we owe? In terms of refunded fees and,
Well, right now we have a $750 fee that we collected for a site plan review. That we also paid some people to do some things, but if they want a refund, I would recommend that we just refund the entire $750.
Yeah.
I mean, even though we have spent some money to do that, I mean, I don't know that it's any fault of theirs.
No,
Right.
that's not.
and we would,
But I think that it needs to be clear though, that when someone applies for a special land use or a site plan review, it doesn't mean they're automatically gonna get a license for marijuana. It's a step
It's just.
in
one
that
step.
direction. But because of the situation that is really no fault of their own, I feel like the city's right step would be probably to refund.
and
If they are, if they want to go that route, if they want to keep going, what do
yeah,
you do?
if that is the outcome, then it would be not an action item, but a recommendation from finance that we make the parties whole and refund any fees that they have paid
Further note.
until
After the referendum and
January of 2023.
something like that. I mean, that, I
Well, if they're
mean,
gonna vote in November, then December of 2022.
Yeah. Yeah.
The vote it'll be in November, correct, of 2022?
November 8th would be the election.
So
date.
if it passes or fails,
Oh, we
whatever, on December of
Yeah,
2022.
we don't
then-
need to give an end date. We just say, hey. if-
Yeah, let's not
if
be
it-
so specific.
Yeah. if it doesn't-
Until it's
Yeah.
been, until the referendum has been
But,
decided.
you know,
And
if they're screaming for their $750, give it to
Oh,
them.
absolutely.
right, no, that's how I feel about it.
Absolutely.
I don't think we have any obligation to give that to them, but I do feel like it would be the right
I
thing to
think
do.
it would be the right thing to do. I understand both, but yeah.
Yep.
Totally. I'm stealing Gail's because she's not gonna be here, right?
No, she's not. Well, you can't read.
I still like to have it in front of me.
It's fine.
Is she gonna be at council?
No,
No.
she has a health issue,
Enough said, HIPAA.
right?
I mean, I have a text that straight up says what's going on, but
I mean, I didn't,
Okay,
so that's pretty much, as far as other items, so we got the Winter Fest street closure, everybody's understanding what we're doing, we talked to Dan, we're good
Yep.
on that,
mhm,
we're gonna review the charter. I tried to highlight for you guys what, was important out of
Yeah.
that section of the charter,
I
and
saw-
why I feel like it applied.
I saw all
mayor and
the
I did-
yellow.
Right, the mayor and I did not make any decision on our own. The charter clearly stated
Right.
Yeah.
that we could no longer do this, and I asked Burlingame to confirm what I read.
Yeah.
And he confirmed it.
It was all pretty clear. It wasn't.
So, I mean, it's not like I was
Yeah.
making that decision. So I
Right.
could have said, hey, well, I better wait till council, but I felt like the charter said, here's what it is. You know, it's
Yeah,
like the
we
charter
just-
says the next date is
Yeah,
November 8th or whatever.
let's get it done.
There's nothing I can really do about that.
Right.
So, you know, you guys all got those petitions last month, so I did not copy them again. So I didn't see any reason to copy them for you.
Well, you clearly outlined you only need 29 and they,
I verified all the
delivered 60.
signatures. There were like 60 signatures. They only needed 29. There was clearly more than 29 that were
Right.
good.
well, there shouldn't be a lot of back and forth tonight. It
No, it
just,
shouldn't be.
No, there are a lot of
Just
items on the
process.
agenda, but I
Yeah.
just want to, I feel like speaking now and talking through this will help you guys be
Yep.
able to.
I thought it was all pretty simple, like it's all pretty straightforward and just there. It's just almost informational.
Well, but that is what I do. is
Yeah,
Provide you
and
guys
that's
with the
good.
information. And I mean, this is what I read and this is what I went through and it's, I mean, it's not like, this didn't just come to me and, you know, I mean, this.
yeah, so talk to me about fences.
Which fence? Oh,
You know,
so
that's-
what?
That's a lot of pieces of paper.
So we have a few language amendments and one of the things that a few years ago, the planning commission changed was that we could allow those like, there's one over in West Street, there's one down here that Fells did on Grand River. It's kind of like a bigger mesh,
Mesh
almost like a
panel.
fence.
It's not
a
chicken wire,
farm.
but it's like a rectangle.
Yeah, it's like a bigger, you
Yeah,
know,
it's a
and
mesh
so.
panel. you know.
Yeah. Lightweight
We were
panel.
getting some of those that looked nice, okay? And so we allowed that with a special use permit, like people could apply to use that material, because it's really not allowed, that material. But what we're finding is people are abusing it and it is not looking nice.
Right.
So we have one on the corner of Phelps and Grand River that kind of went up, and then, you know, so we
It's
just,
half up still, isn't it?
the planning commission
One
decided
Yeah, they
to
stopped it.
just say, look, we're just not gonna allow that anymore. It's wood or
We prefer
chain link or, so,
nicer versions.
yeah, just so that we don't have,
I don't even like chain link, but I understand.
no, I agree with you, I think that, you know, but, so that's all that is, there's like a minor change in there that they can't do that site plan review one anymore, that it's just, it has to
It's
meet the
only allowed
ordinance.
for gardens temporarily and just temporary use, like
Mhm.
just a momentary.
And then we have our medical. I mean, I
Yeah.
gave everybody the law so
Yeah.
that everybody can understand, I'm not making this choice, I'm just telling you.
We're gonna opt out again, okay?
Well, and so the thing is so for people who don't understand is that the state's saying that whether you work for the city of Detroit or Ann Arbor or Langsberg, this is what you are allowed to pay for health insurance benefit.
Right.
Okay, well, there's only 3 people on this plan, which makes,
And that's why we always opt out.
and so we opt out, or we have to charge our employees that difference. So that's,
Jim's job has good insurance, so we're good.
so, then we have some people we've cut the lawn. And so that's just an annual thing that we start the process of the special assessment to put that bill on the lawn on their taxes.
Mhm.
January's meeting date falls on a holiday that is observed by the city employees. So if we meet on, what is it, the 3rd?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have
That's
it.
what this,
Yes. So if we were to meet on January 3rd, then it's the Monday that would be our holiday. So we could still meet that day, which is, you know, or we could meet the next day, or we can meet the next Monday, or if everybody else is gonna be gone on January 3rd, then let's move it. So,
doesn't matter to me.
and then I got some stuff on the river property. I
I'll
have
be
a.
sober by the third. No.
I got the quote from C2AE to develop that site
Oh, Dave will be happy to hear
and
that.
help us through the grant process. So,
Yeah, depending on the price.
Well, 20
Yeah.
some $1,000, I think it was, to get that developed and get ready to put it in a grant. I mean, you don't have to have plans to write the grant, but it really would make
Makes it
everything a
easier.
lot easier. So, that's where we're at with that. Then we have neighbors out there that aren't real happy about the situation, but the neighbors right beside them, the lady that wrote the letter a couple months ago, she's fine with it. She's the one that would be.
She just
probably-
wanted to know about it.
Yep, shit. So I've talked to her and she is really happy with, like kind of keeping it natural still and whatever we have to do to make it ADA accessible and, that kind of thing. But it's across the river that there's somebody that went to the Scioto Township Board, but I did speak with Scioto Township Supervisor and they don't seem to have any issues with it. And then we have the amphitheater thing.
You guys gonna put up trees like we mentioned in the DPW meeting?
So,
David says.
yeah,
to
so
read it.
we
I
have
think
we have a picture
There's a
there.
lot of
Dan
different
can
options.
show the picture there.
I
Yeah,
suggested. the
because Dave
trees, it
said
was the
something about
cheapest, I
trees,
think.
getting trees to put in there for the shade.
So when,
Yeah, but why even do it if it's gonna wind up killing somebody?
well, I guess if you want to move it, we could.
I don't think we move it. I think the trees were the.
That was confirmed.
I know.
I know.
More trees.
So
People really think we should.
there's the pricing for, I mean, we don't really have a solid price yet on the red and white things, but I mean, the guy that wanted to build the sales, I mean, he didn't really do that expensive, but according to the engineers, the poles to hold those sails and getting them set in place. And they're gonna be more visually, in my mind, they're gonna impair vision more than those trees would.
I think the trees are better than people can sit under them. They can-
And
And they're
do we
stronger.
want 110% shade the area or? I mean,
How far
some
would they have
people like
dig
to
for
sit,
those poles, though? They'd have to go down. a ways.
the
and
trees
some
would be
people want to
visually
sit
better.
in the sun.
Mhm.
So,
Trees would be better.
Yeah,
I
and when they
wrote a
blow
list.
over, and they will, we can just replant them.
well,
I wrote a list of trees that would be good for it. There was good 6 or 7 different types of trees that.
so I met with
Perfectly.
Jason, from Vanda's.
Campaigners, yeah.
He lives over here. He helps us a lot. I mean, he would like come and fertilize the tree. I mean, he just lives right here. And so he gave me some advice on some trees and stuff. He was gonna help me with some information. And then Dave said, well, I got lots of trees at the lagoons that we'd like to get rid of. So a few years back, maybe 25, Larry Cook planted a bunch of trees out of the lagoons for a nursery and they're sugar maples. And right now they are,
Maples are
Those-
messy.
but they're the ones that are in those pictures. That's about what size they are. And if we can find somebody to move them, the DDA has offered up $5,000.
That'll move at least one. I
For the
mean,
project.
yeah.
And
That's
so everybody on the DDA was on board with the trees. Nobody wanted. these-
Everybody on Lark was on board with trees.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's kind of where we're at. And we're hoping if city council agrees that we can move them yet this fall.
Yeah,
That
John,
would be
talked
awesome.
to him, John's supposed to get over this week.
Because then
So-
next year would just be a fresh start. Let's try it again.
Yep.
We can
And
still-
honestly, if you look at the pictures at the bottom, that's why I show those pictures.
Yeah,
Okay, there's a lot of events that happened that
Yeah.
there's plenty of shade. And if you look at the amphitheater, do you see that angle of shade that kind of goes through? So there's one corner on that south side over there that isn't shaded as much, but the other side is all shaded.
yeah, that's all pretty shaded.
So if we could,
Thanks for holding
if
that
we
for
could
us.
train the musicians to sit their stuff up on the side where
The
it's
other
shady,
side, Yeah.
It wouldn't blow up.
it might not blow
The
up.
first tree should go though, where that little, it would shade this the most. Right?
Well, the engineers have a program with the model. And they're gonna tell us kind of where to put the trees to
Yeah.
provide the most shade. based on the size, the diameter, the height, the, bloom of the damn thing, whatever. But Dave's got some nice trees out there. If we can get them moved,
I mean, we were saying it would,
we don't even think. we
trees
can-
last 100 years, these will last, what, maybe 10?
Yeah, we,
So-
and these, I mean, we could do this for the. I've looked at what other people have done. It's $100,000 for those sales.
Yeah,
The guy that wants to build it doesn't think so, but.
I'm all for trees all the time, every time.
Mhm.
Well, what, it doesn't hurt to put trees in the front.
No,
So,
And then
I'm a nature
sales-
girl, those are my
Sales,
trees.
you take
For the
them down
trees.
in the winter, put them back up in the spring.
Correct.
Yeah, that would just be so much more work, rather than just mowing over some leaves.
Right, this way the only way you have to store is the leaves.
And you're good.
And they're good mulch, if you just chop them up
Yeah, lots
once.
of practice with leaves. So, that's kind of our thought process right now, is that we've been working through the shade. Dave or the mayor will have to tell you what happened if you're interested in the Jack Clarkson letter, but,
I'm pretty sure we all got it.
okay. So, that's where we're at.
Okay.
So we're kind of looking for a recommendation on the trees and a recommendation maybe on the river property, what you guys are
I
thinking.
recommend 1,000% trees.
No, I like the trees.
Yeah,
Well, and we kind of feel like after we really started looking at it, that the trees were just like, I mean, everybody at the DVA felt the same way when I took it to them. That everybody was on board with the trees.
plus I don't like the color red, so.
Well, we could have made it whatever color you
Just
want.
kidding. I know,
How about green and white?
no.
That'd be a good color.
I know he's a blue and gold person.
Green's my favorite color, but blue and gold like that.
So, that's pretty much what we've been working on. The other thing is the ARPA funds. We're gonna get half of those pretty soon. Maybe we want to form a committee to start talking about how
we
we're
can
gonna
spend-
determine what we're gonna do with it.
How we can spend it.
Correct.
We buy trees with it somewhere?
Well, there are a few
Somebody's
options.
looking at that. Joni Star said she's looking into that.
Yeah.
She's gonna try to
Well, if we
figure
got the
out.
trees out the lagoon.
But we don't
have to
need,
buy
I
them.
mean,
We
I
just
don't know
gotta
that we
move
need to buy trees.
We just need to
I
move
know,
them.
but the,
That's.
We
The
got the trees
CDA
at
has
the
offered
lagoon.
up $5,000. We have
Yeah,
all
we can
those
move them,
trees at the
so.
lagoon, so if we
Yeah.
can move them. Or if those can't be moved, then the $5,000 will go towards buying and planting trees.
Yeah.
Which some people are saying, we can't even buy one as big as we have at the lagoon.
Right.
Yeah, you'd have to wait till spring.
it's very hard to buy one.
Yeah.
I mean, Nash Nurseries, if you go way back, they have some beautiful trees back there, but I'm not sure what they are.
Well, it's kind of where we're pulling the trigger now, because both of the tree people we talked to said that with maples, it's better to move
Right.
them.
In the fall.
So Nash
yeah.
is good with moving. You
They
talked-
just have to come out and make sure that they can move that size.
But did they look at it yet? They haven't looked at it?
No, okay,
Okay.
no, that's just what I told him over the phone.
Right, so we've talked to Nash, we talked to Van Ettis, and the Van Ettis guy, Jason is a local person, kids went to Langsberg, and he works at Van Ettis, but he has spent a lot of time just giving us his advice and helping us. It's not a financial situation, so, he doesn't even care. He came out and looked at those trees and told David and I, yeah, I'd try it.
Yeah.
I'd move them and see, if you can find somebody big and, something big enough to move them,
Yeah.
then try it.
I'm all
So,
for that. It would be so much cheaper and so much more durable.
but I think that we
So much
all even
prettier.
just like the look better. I mean, let's throw some trees up there and call it, those ones we have out there, those are cute, but they'll be good in about 20 years.
Right.
I mean, they're just not gonna work for what we need, so,
It's a good.
yep. So, I don't know, anybody got any questions, any other things for me that,
No.
no? So do you want to form a committee for the ARPA funds? What are you guys thinking about how to spend ARPA funds?
Can the finance committee just do that.
We can make recommendations.
We sure could. That we, I mean, I watched a few of the webinars or whatever, you know, you guys can find all that information out there at treasury.com too. So whatever you want to do, there are options out there, but they're fairly limited. I mean, they, you know, and depending on what you do, depends on how much documentation you need, because it has to be COVID related.
So we could just refer to finance for recommendation to council on how to proceed with ARPA funds.
Yeah, and we have several years to decide what to do with them,
Trees,
But-
trees create oxygen, which cleans the air.
but also moving, you know, if we used it for, you know, paying this money for C2AE to develop the river property, I'm pretty sure that's a use, you know, so it just frees up general fund dollars if you use it for
Right.
that. So those are things that we just need to determine how we're gonna use them. So, and you don't wanna use them on something that would be a recurring expense. Like, you don't wanna like increase wages because you're not gonna get that 134,000 again. They won't help you, you know what I mean? It's not gonna help with that. So they recommend that it's like something that kind of takes something off your capital improvement plan but I mean, you can't, there's certain things you just can't do with it. You know, you can't just fix your roads with it. If they don't, that's not allowed. But I know that Park and Rec is allowed. I've watched several seminars and I'm still not like convinced it's that easy. But
Let's just make it an agenda item at the next finance.
Yeah.
okay, I can do that. Did you guys want to meet in November or do you want to, I mean, in December, do you think we're good or do we want to go on to January? Because it's time to start talking about budget too.
Yeah, let's make that decision in November.
Okay.
Actually.
It is
early
It is
December.
November.
Yeah, December.
I mean, I can,
November 1st.
Yeah, go ahead and schedule it. If we don't
Okay.
need to meet, we won't.
we did close on that property over here. The Singh property. We are now proud 50% owners of that. And Dave stored the tables and chairs in there today.
Hey,
So-
there was a lady on Facebook that had a good idea to make a parking lot.
Yeah. I
Too
saw
bad.
that.
I really wanted to post, too bad I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
But
Shocker. Surprise.